He'll run it. Williams looking. Touchdown, Trojans. Does it come from the opposite side? Yes. Quarterback sneak. Touchdown, UCLA. Second rushing touchdown. Jones again. Touchdown, Trojans.
Thompson Robinson, he's got to settle himself down.
Second down and 10. Thompson Robinson over the middle. Intercepted again. Scrimmage. Caleb Williams again. Winds up. Lets it go. Caught. Touchdown, Jordan. Brown in motion. Thompson Robinson surveying. Delivers. Intercepted by USC. Corey Foreman. And the Trojans pick off Dorian Thompson Robinson for the third time.
Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Welcome, everybody, to another glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and I am podcasting off the Pac-12 championship shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. The USC Trojans do their job. They do what they had to do on the road, if you call it the road, if you will. Go to the Rose Bowl and beat the Bruins in what was just a thrilling football game in every aspect of it. I like my football games with a little bit more defense than that, but listen, you take the victories. They did what they had to do in this ball game, and the Trojans are going to go to Vegas and gonna face whoever in the Pac-12 championship game. So a lot to kind of discuss and go under back and forth with and in this game. So let's just start with. I'm going to start with one thing off the rip, with Gus Johnson there, with Big Fox there, with Joel Klatt there. The Pac-12 officials did a good job of staying out of their own way. They did not make any big calls. You didn't see the egregious, late hit on the quarterback. There was one little targeting situation there that they kind of rectified. They clarified that, a quarterback got hit in the stomach and that wasn't targeting. It wasn't the crown of the helmet. The USC defender used his hand, so they weren't a part of the story. The one thing I was worried about in this ball game were the Pac-12 officials, who are horrible, were going to be part of the story of this one. They made sure they weren't. They let the players decide it, and the players on both UCLA and on USC did a great job of deciding who won this game. Back a long time ago, it seemed like a long time ago, right? When Lincoln Riley became the head coach of the USC Trojans, I knew what happened this year was 100% possible because I watched football for a long period of time. I watched college football for a long period of time. So I know that big-time head coaches make their biggest mark in year one. And think about how all these players come in and out. All these players come to USC. Some of them transferred out. But yet he was able to hold all that together. And this team feels as close as any team you can imagine. A team that it feels like a team that's been around since they were freshmen all the way to seniors, and they're not at all. Some of these guys are gonna be one and done. Some of these guys are gonna kill. I mean, Jordan Addison's gonna be catching touchdown passes for NFL teams real soon. But they're playing hard. They're playing, with vigor. They just didn't have this non-give up attitude. And that's part of Lincoln Riley's lore. Like, he knows how to coach. He knows how to bring people together. He knows how to bring offensive football together. He knows how to make this team a competitive team right out the gate. And they were. And they did a tremendous job of that. The one thing I liked about USC in this game was the progression, the big game progression. One game, first game of the year, what I thought was a big game was at Corvallis. They did not play well. They played horribly. Caleb Williams had accuracy issues. He was just the whole moment was really big for everybody. But what I like about this whole thing was they gave you a progression here where they were like, okay, we're just going to get better and better in the big game. They played Utah, got better, lost the Utah game eventually, but they were able to find a way to win that game. I mean, find a way to learn from that game. Sorry. Now come to this game, kind of the same circumstances. Everything is, they get a late stop. UCLA on Caleb Williams, they get a sack. They gotta punt the ball back. They find a way to win this game instead of finding a way to lose this game, like they did at Utah. All three games on the road. All these things are championship. Gives you championship medal here. And that's what makes this USC team special. What makes this team special as another reason why they're special is because of 13. I mean, Caleb Williams is just a boss in every single way. The guy is mobile. The guy has tremendous pocket presence. The guy has the ability to make these off-platform throws with blistering accuracy. If I am sitting here evaluating a quarterback, I mean, the first thing I'm looking at is pocket presence and can he throw off platform? Because to be considered for the National Football League, excuse me, you're going to be able to make throws from the pocket. Oh, nice clean pocket. Of course, you can make that throw. Like we expect you to be able to make that throw. But the throws of the off-platform dimes that he threw to Kyle Ford in critical situations, to Brendan Rice in critical situations, those are the plays that are really, really special. And then you got the throw, just the shot between two defenders, the way 30, 40 yards on the field on a dime to Jordan Addison. I mean, those plays, you can't make that up. I mean, that is a really special football right there. That's 100% special football. And that's what Caleb Williams has brought to the table since day one. And this is the best quarterback Lincoln Riley has had. Yeah. I mean, this is the best quarterback he's had. I mean, this is not Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield was a good college player, but he's not Caleb Williams. Kyler Murray, a really good college player, but he's not this guy. I mean, this guy is special. And I'm not going to put him in the class of Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to give him that because they're both light-skinned Black Americans. Give him that comp because people do that. But just look at the shots on the field, the escapability, the way he presses the line of scrimmage on scrambles, and then when he gets to that line of scrimmage, knows when to run and knows when to throw it. He had one situation in this game where he was indecisive with that, where he almost cost USC the game. He's scrambling for what could have been a first down, and he threw the ball to the tight end in the flat instead of just keeping the ball for a rush where that could have been the difference between them losing and winning a game. But USC found a way. They found a way, and they got just enough. And I know this defense is maligned. I know they don't have the elite pass rushers. They don't have the things that they need to be a special defense on this team. But at the very least, you got to say, hey, this team can rush the passer. This team can also, they really focused in on Charbonneau and did a really good job against them because, I mean, there's times where Charbonneau has 200 yards of offense, right? He only had 90-something yards rushing. It was 5 yards a click carry, but they just took care of business when it came down to him. Like he didn't get loose for like the 30, 40-yard gains. We've seen this USC football team get gashed on defense against good rushing teams. They had a nice attention to detail. They had just as many. They had just enough tackles at the line of scrimmage, just enough stops for no gain in this game as well on Charbonnet, just to keep them honest, just to keep them from doing that. And what they did was they really forced Dorian Thompson Robinson to win the game passing. And I think the one thing I noticed in this game was, besides number 19 Allen from UCLA, UCLA didn't have the kind of speed on the outside to kind of run away. And I think that was a big difference in this game. I mean, they could play USC could play man in this game, and it didn't destroy them to do so. Bobo is a good receiver, not a guy who's going to create elite separation from his defender. And I think that was pretty much on site in this game. It's hard. You can say that the way you're saying that, but they scored 45 points. But yeah, listen, I'm just saying what I saw in the game. So as far as that goes, but they were not explosive. They were not as explosive as they needed to be to win this game. I think once they got behind, I think Alex Grinch kind of played a little bit softer coverage. They had a very questionable. I mean, the first drive of the first half, USC scores a touchdown, and excuse me, in the fourth quarter, they go up 41-43. And then Alex, I mean, I don't know whose decision it was has to be Lincoln Riley to do a little short kick. That little short kick ended up being a touchdown, to a touchdown pass from Robinson to Casimir Allen right after. I mean, the short kick was almost like a turnover. It was kind of ridiculous how that worked out. But end of the day, people are gonna question the special teams of USC because they don't have a special teams coordinator, special team coach, and he's not gonna get one. Coaches are stubborn that way. I don't think he's ever gonna get one because he talks about it all the time. He's not gonna get one. But I do think that what the Bruins did in this game. I mean, what the Bruins try to do in this game, I thought it got taken away from USC getting a lead. Also taking the ball away from out of Charbonnet's hands. I mean, that kind of, they passed to him a little bit, but he's the guy who they want to run the football. Chip Kelly wants to run the football. So when you take away that element and make it just a passing game, and they have to catch up, you're putting them in a position where they don't really want to be in, and that's where you got. I mean, he turned the ball over 4 times. I mean, those turnovers are huge. Those 4 turnovers that he had in this game, and you can't. I mean, Caleb Williams had 1 touchdown. One turnover, but you can't have multiple turnovers against a good team. And USC got back to what they'd done from the Rice game all the way till now. They forced turnovers. Say what you want about this defense. Say what you want about Alex Grinch. Say what you want about all these different things about USC football and what they've done defensively. You got to give them credit for their ability to get turnovers at critical times and rush the passer when the game's on the line. I mean, they do a really good job of that, and they did a great job in this game too. I mean, during Thomas Robinson, that was that critical quarterback sack, fumble. I mean, those things really got the ball rolling for USC. They get energized off. I mean, the offense doesn't need any more energy than it actually gets, but they get even more energy when they get those turnovers. It's an exciting change in the ball game where they can go from sitting on the bench to grab your helmets, we got to go score, and that was huge. Austin Jones in this ball game. Catching the ball out of the backfield, did a tremendous job there, and they rushed the football. At will, pretty much as far as that goes. I thought Barlow late. He's just waiting his turn to get the football. Really just ran the football. Just as hard as you can. He is a very physical back, so last thing you want to do is kind of battle with him in a one-on-one situation. And they sprinkled in a little bit Raleek Brown. I mean, he's young, and he got people were giving him an earful that first drive where he should have gotten the first down, but he didn't. So that was huge in that game because USC got off to a really bad really bad start in this ball game, but they were able to come back and win. Just an exciting game in every aspect of the game. It's just a great ball game. And Jordan Addison, I mean, every big game USC's played in, Oregon State, Utah, in this one, he has made his mark in this game, and that's the reason why, you know, it was a great moment for the for the Trojans when they acquired him and through the transfer portal. That was a huge play. I mean that was just a huge situation for them to get him because he is just one of those big time, like can't miss. If he stays healthy, he's going to be a 10-year, 12-year NFL just star receiver. And as good as Mario Williams, as good as Michael Jackson, as good as some of these other guys are, they don't have that ability that Jordan Addison has. And Jordan Addison has just been a special player for his whole career in college, and definitely for the 1 year he's going to be at USC. O-line, great job. They were on display in full force in this ball game. They opened up holes. They protected the quarterback, and of course, when they don't have the proper protection for Caleb Williams, he's able to escape and make some terrific plays down the field. I mean, the guy has just been an absolute beast as far as that goes. And how could the game end? I mean, one of the most 5-star recruit. We know if you look at the message boards for USC, it's Corey Foreman. When is Corey Foreman going to make a play? And it's just, and he makes the play in the most opportune time, with the season on the line. You know, if this game goes to overtime, you don't know if USC is going to win this game. If UCLA could have got down closer, the defense might have given up a touchdown with not much time left because it was under 2 minutes in the ball game. So I got to give them a lot of credit for that. They just did a great job. They did a great job in this game, as far as just creating turnovers and that critical turnover that Corey Foreman, like who would have had Corey Foreman dropping in the coverage, showing those soft hands to get the INT to seal the game for the USC Trojans. I think the one thing I noticed in this ball game too about Dorian Thompson Robinson is for the next level is, can he see the field? I think on some of these his height can be an issue. And I think that could play into a lot of this because a lot of long bodies around him, and the pick that he threw to Corey Foreman at the end of the game. I mean, I'm looking at it right now in the background. He just, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he saw any of this. I don't think he saw any of it. I don't think he saw any of it. And I think part of it is just like, you can't, not that playing on the fact that he's really, really small. But he's going to have to find a way to kind of see the field, if he's going to play well on the next level. But UCLA had a good year. It helped USC that UCLA had a good year because this game would have meant nothing if they were like a 4-win Bruin team. But they were not a 4-win Bruin team. They were a very good Bruin team. They really played their hearts out. They played well. I'm giving the opponent some credit here because in college football, it's kind of crazy. You actually need your opponent to play well up to when they play you, and then you need them to play well after you beat them. It's just like that. I mean, now, Oregon State being ranked right now is a good thing for UC, a good thing for USC. Them coming back and turning their season around after the USC loss is a good thing for the Trojans. And now they play Notre Dame, who got off to a bad start, and now who are ready to, that's going to be a game where they say to themselves, hey, okay, let's play. We're going to go play we're going to play USC, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's playing well. They're ranked. Then if you beat them, then you want Notre Dame to continue to keep playing well. So the Trojans, I mean, this is probably one of the most that was one of the most exciting moments because I think the first thing about this moment here for the Trojans is the fact that it is a moment in which it's the beginning of the new era. It's the beginning of a new run. It's kind of like that excitement that you had as a Laker fan when Kobe threw the the pass, the alley-oop pass to Shaquille O'Neal. He throws the alley-oop pass to Shaquille O'Neal against the Portland Trailblazers in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, and you know that that's a new. You're excited for a lot of reasons, but you're excited because you know it's the beginning of a new era in Laker winning. And it's the same thing with this game right here. You know it's a new. It feels special. It feels great because you know it's a new era in USC football. It's Pete Carroll situation all over again. It's the big time recruits. It's the special players. It's these great moments against your rivals. That's what is going to be special about what's going on here with the with the USC Trojans, and for UCLA. I mean, we'll see what happens with them, but you kind of want them to be at least decent. So when you play them, the college football playoff committee, and we haven't even talked about that yet, we'll talk about it right now, can be impressed by it. Now, I find it hard to believe, and say what you want, hard to believe that in any way whatsoever, you would have a one-loss USC Pac-12 champion with 3 straight wins against ranked opponents not be in the college football playoff. I would find that hard to believe. I don't think in any way it's going to be a situation where they keep USC out. I think USC would be in if that happened. They might need a little bit of help, but I do think they'll be in as far as that goes. So great job by the Trojans here. A lot to uncover, man. The playoff is going to be interesting because you have some teams, and like one thing I'll say about the quote unquote SEC, real quick. I watched a lot of SEC football this year, and maybe Georgia is that special team with their 16-6 victory over Kentucky. I guess in the SEC world, that's a great win. I mean, maybe Rick Pitino was playing football out there as well for them, but at the end of the day, let's just be real, dude. This USC team. I'm sorry to tell people that, but they can legitimately play with anybody in the country. When you have Caleb Williams, you have the myriad of weapons that they have, you can't tell me they can't play with anybody. They can flat out play with anybody in the country. It's not even close. Now with their defense, they can lose any of these games, but they can definitely beat anybody in the country. I'm sorry. I know people want to just SEC. This Trojan team can play with anybody in the country. And I know Hendon Hooker had a huge injury. I wish him the best of luck getting back from that injury because it's a tough injury to come back from, and it kind of screws up his draft status. Who knows when he'll be back for his NFL team once he gets drafted. But they give 63 points. As bad as USC defense has been this year, 63 points. 63 points to South Carolina and Ritter. Spencer Rattler. I'm supposed to be impressed with that. Georgia has some questionable spots too. At Missouri, that's not a good that's not a good game. They played at Kentucky, only winning that game 16-6. Good defense. I give them credit for that. I would love for USC to have a game where they give only 6 points, but you gotta score more than 16. You're a big bad Georgia, so they can play with anybody. Now they have to kind of get away from the high of this game and get focused on a tough Notre Dame game. And Notre Dame is excellent on special teams. They pride themselves on being great. They're one of the best special team coaches in all of college football. So watch out for, some trickeration there. Watch out they're gonna have some solid play there. So also when in the return game, got to make sure you secure the football. So we'll preview Notre Dame later this week. But just tremendous effort, tremendous win by by USC. I mean, just a great. I just can't. The words can't put into words can't do it justice what they did this season and what they did in this USC UCLA game. Great job by Caleb Williams, offensive line, the defense getting those turnovers that you needed so much. And like I said, if you're a coach, NFL, college, you can tank and do whatever you want to do, but at the end of the day, like your best mark is your first season, and you got to do whatever you can to make things happen in your first season. And if you don't, then it's gonna look like how the Raiders look. It's gonna look like the way some of these other teams look, the way Oklahoma looks. Like you have to be able to make your mark in your first season. It's hard to come back from that. So USC will preview the Notre Dame game coming up. Enjoy this one, Trojan fans. Enjoy it. It was a great game. It was a great moment. You can say. I mean, people joked around about being back. You can now say you're back, especially if they can go ahead and beat Notre Dame. The Trojans have really kind of done what everybody didn't want them to do. They didn't want them to become a special team again. They didn't want this program. They wanted to see Lincoln Riley fail in its first year, and that definitely did not happen.